I'll be there when you're down, when you're losing your crown, till the afterglow, the afterglow. Fading away, you look so great when you gotta shine. One more part of you is gone now, as you keep smiling at the crowd. Pressure is your best enemy, spotlights show what I wanna see. Sometimes it feels like you're under attack, you just can't break free. I'll be there when you're down, when you're losing your crown, till the afterglow, the afterglow. I'll be there when you fall, when you're losing it all, in the afterglow, in the afterglow. Whoa! It all started with the passion, it all sounded like a dream. Remember how you kept on laughing, now you're trapped in your own skin. The anxiety growing.
Ladies and gentlemen, it is Friday night. It is time for Smackdown, but right here on Turnbuckle Talk, it is also time for the Smackdown Security Detail. I'm your host, Chris Best. O&D is going to be joining us here in just a moment. And right here, live on our screens, we've got a look back at what happened last week with the assault of the bloodline on Kevin Owens and Cody Rhodes here. So we see Jacob Fatu just completely dominating KO right now, just taking him right out. One has to wonder what kind of condition KO or Cody Rhodes will be in for tonight's show. Got Nick Aldis on our screen right now, and he's talking with Solo and Tama and Tonga. So Tonga Loa is out, and Jacob Fatu is in for the tag team gauntlet match that's going to be happening later on tonight. LA Knight making his way into the arena as well. That's right. LA Knight's going to be taking on Santos Escobar. That's based off of all the events that have been going on surrounding the United States title. Santos Escobar had been trying to lay his claim for wanting a shot at the U.S. title, but LA Knight obviously putting kind of being that stopgap for Santos, as LA Knight is the current number one contender for the U.S. title. As we see Santos making his way to the ring. And we got Savage Pascal coming in saying, hey, asking how I'm doing. I'm doing pretty good. Savage, just sitting here checking out some Smackdown here. Getting a start right here as LA Knight and Santos Escobar start off with your typical chain wrestling type start to the match, which is it's nice to see that actually. Savage, our streaming is going just fine. Nice reverse elbow from LA Knight there. Still to come, like I said, Tag Team Championship number one contenders Gauntlet Match. We also got Bayley and Michin versus Nia Jackson, Tiffany Stratton on the card. What a tag team action tonight. Savage, I've been at this personally. I've been with this company that I stream with, Turnbuckle Studios. I've been with them for about 2 years, but Turnbuckle Studios as a whole has been doing it for close to 10 years, I believe. Santos really taking the lead here, looking to execute what I thought was a sharpshooter, but I don't know what the heck that was. LA Knight looking to mount a comeback here. Irish whip off the ropes here. Beautiful clothesline there. Yes, Savage, we are working towards becoming towards reaching affiliate status. as we head to a commercial break. So now, because the chat is actually chatting about our streaming stuff, let me show you a commercial that showcases all of our shows that we have right here at Turnbuckle Studios. Savage, our plans are to just have fun with what we're doing. As right now, just got a commercial for TD right now, and I'm gonna bring this out to you guys out in the chat. Who do you guys think takes the win between LA Knight and Santos Escobar? Savage, I'm honestly not the person you want to talk to regarding that kind of stuff. Right now, Santos Escobar, we're back to the action, by the way, and Santos Escobar has taken the advantage here and is totally just laying it into LA Knight right now. 2 count only. LA Knight really trying to get the win on this match here. So let me pose this question out to you guys out in the chat there as well. LA Knight, as I've mentioned at the top of the broadcast, is set to go one-on-one with Logan Paul at SummerSlam for the US title. I'd like to see what you guys have as far as predictions go for that match. Say his name and he appears. OMD is here.
I have arrived. How we doing, my brother?
It's been a kind of day. I'll talk to you about it after the show.
Alrighty.
Right now we've got Logan Paul interfering right now.
Yes, I just saw Logan Paul show up.
I was about to say we have Logan Paul and our LA Knight and Santos Escobar having their match, but
That I just got the finish.
yeah. But this is actually the first time in a long time where I've seen an interference kind of fail. Because right now, oh, never mind.
Yes.
Again, I spoke too soon. Because now Santos is beating up LA Knight. So how was your day, though?
Very, very long. I did an 11-hour today. Just because we were starting off with a 100-piece truck order at 9 a.m.
100 pieces? Would
Yep.
like a whole house, basically?
Yeah. So I had offered to go in and start early today to help the guys out with the truck, rather than just leave it for them while I slept. Though I'm wishing I would have stayed home and slept.
So I'm going to put this out to the chat again. We know that this is a taped SmackDown, but OMD and we don't know the results. So no spoilers. I tend to stay away from the spoilers when I know a show is going to be taped. So,
Yep. No, I didn't. I never even thought and didn't see anything in terms of spoilers posted today online.
dude, I did. I didn't read anything of it, but like I saw like the headline SmackDown spoilers, you know?
Okay.
And I'm like, I was just trying to look for the matches so that I can, put them in for our show description.
Right. I did see that over the weekend, Blair Davenport married NXT's Riley Osborne.
I cut out. I heard Blair Davenport married and then nothing.
NXT's Riley Osborne.
He's one of the No Quarter Catch Club members, is he not?
He is part of Chase U.
Oh, right. Right now we've got Naomi with we got Jade Cargill and Bianca Belair on the wing. And I've got to step away AFK for just a few seconds.
All right, so ladies and gentlemen, while Best is away, I am resuming hosting duties. And as we're seeing here, Raw is moving to Sci-Fi along with NXT for the next 2 weeks due to the Olympics. Again, I was at work. I just got home. Literally, I got home, turned the computer on, and jumped on here. So, ladies and gentlemen, I mean, we are in a commercial break. So, I mean, please feel free, hit us up with your chats, with your comments, with your questions. Of course, we're getting an ad for, well, the new Slam with our buddy, our pal, Scott Stanford. So, and yes, tonight I am wearing my Dolphins t-shirt in honorable mention of our friend Chris Parrish, who is away on vacation for a well-deserved vacation for the next 2 weeks. So I got to throw this out there just for him that I do have an NFL shirt. So hopefully we will be back to our regularly scheduled television programming and all of that here very, very shortly. I am going to check something here briefly. So if I'm away from my screen for the intro for the next match, I'm going to miss the intro for the next match. Wondering where all our usual suspects are. I know we've got members of the Raw Patrol that do watch SmackDown, whether they join us in chat or on screen, on cam. They are more than welcome. Bulkster, this is a shout out to you. Come on and join us here, buddy. So, ladies and gentlemen, we did just get our answer from Logan Paul as to answering LA Knight's challenge, and he is accepted. And apparently a big surprise from Mr. Cleveland himself for Logan Paul's homecoming at SummerSlam. And now we're getting Jade Cargill entering our screens. We know that her and Bianca are going out to issue a challenge for the Women's Tag Team Championships. And Mr. Best is about to come back in and rejoin the chat.
Yeah, sorry about that. Had
No worries.
I literally ate my dinner and then started the show, so I had to,
While you were away, we got our answer from Logan Paul for SummerSlam.
What did he say?
He said yes. He said, LA Knight, you are not just wrestling for the U.S. Championship. You are turning the underdog and turn top dog. And he just got off the phone with the mayor of Cleveland, and he's getting a big surprise at the homecoming, all of that. And now we are getting Jade Cargill and Bianca Belair in to address the Women's Tag Team Champions.
This is going to be a tag team heavy episode of SmackDown, from what I'm seeing.
Yes, it is.
Because we've got Michin and Bayley taking on Nia and Tiffany Stratton.
Right.
Then obviously the tag team Gauntlet, which I'm going to assume that's going to take up maybe the last hour of the show if they want to give the everybody time.
Right.
Oh, by the way, Tonga Loa will not be in the tag team match. He got replaced by Jacob Fatu.
Okay. Interesting.
Because of the beatdown that happened last week, he suffered some kind of injury. I'm using quotations here because you can't really trust the bloodline with things like that, right? Okay, well, that answers my question from the other night. I'm not, well, you're more than likely seeing it right now, but I can't remember if it was on air or off air, but I had asked if Alba Fire and Isla Dawn are heels. And I believe I was talking to Only Parrish about this, and he said he didn't really know.
No, they're sort of in between because they do have a women's tag team title defense this coming Tuesday on NXT where they're the faces.
Right, and they also got the thing with Zoe Stark and Shayna Baszler. In that sense, they're faces here. But here, they're heels to a degree because Bianca and Jade, I mean, you can't really boo Jade. Jade's just incredibly over right now, as is Bianca.
Right.
So this is kind of an interesting dynamic right now because it's they're looking at the Japan tour that's going on right now as we speak.
Yes. Okay. And yes, there have been some interesting matches and some interesting attires for certain champions, as I saw earlier today.
I really wish that, and I said this 2 weeks ago when we found out that this SmackDown episode was going to be taped. I really think they should have brought it to Tokyo. I really think that there could have been something done there.
Absolutely. As you just mentioned that, they're showing clips from Tokyo.
Yeah, well, I meant Japan in general, but we have a Cody Rhodes interview tonight. I mean, I kind of figured Cody was going to show up tonight, but I wanted to go back to the Alba Fire Isla Dawn thing, and I was going to say it's an interesting kind of dynamic where they're playing heel on SmackDown, babyface on NXT and Raw. It's kind of like Bret Hart in 97. Heel in the States, babyface everywhere else.
Right.
That to me is very interesting. And right now we've got the Street Profits and Terrence Crawford hanging out. Terrence Crawford, of course, the boxer that was on last week's episode of SmackDown.
Okay, yes, I did not see last week's episode of SmackDown. I was in a mosh pit.
Yeah. He's busy trying to promote an upcoming fight right now.
Okay.
So they're using SmackDown and the Street Profits for that reason. And I got to ask you this, now that Bobby Lashley is sort of out of the picture as far as the Street Profits go, where do we go with the Street Profits? Do we see them winning this tag team title, this tag team gauntlet tonight, or what?
I'm going to say no. I think, in all honesty, if you really want to keep the momentum leading into SummerSlam, I think you have to go with the Bloodline in this situation. Especially because that will lend a whole lot more credence for Roman's potential return on Saturday, or a week from Saturday.
Well, plus you've got the whole DIY probably wanting to get a little bit of revenge on the Bloodline because they still really haven't gotten it yet.
Right.
From when they were attacked a few weeks back.
Right. Yeah, it's going to be interesting. Like, I would love to see Gallows and Anderson get another run, especially if you're trying to try and rebuild the OC and their credibility.
Mm-hmm.
Even with AJ over in Japan for this tour.
But I will say this. I'm actually enjoying BFAB with the Street Profits. She's really starting to come into her own right now.
Absolutely. I saw it the first time she ever got in the ring in NXT. I think it was the one and only match she ever had down there before getting called up.
Mm.
And yes, she looked green, but she was really getting it.
Yeah, and I don't know what it was, but when she was with Hit Row, I felt like she didn't fit in with them, and I don't know what it was, you know what I mean?
No, I get exactly where you're coming from.
But
I think it's because everybody else, when you have somebody like Swerve or
Ashante or even AJ Francis, I mean,
yeah,
we'll give
but
them
I
that.
mean, Swerve is clearly the guy on the mic.
Mm-hmm.
For them. AJ, sure, he can bust out a rhyme.
He still can't do dives over the top rope, though.
No. Ashante was just always too quiet, sort of should have been that dark horse up-and-coming wrestler that...
He's also starting to, I mean, it's been a few weeks, but we did see him on Tuesday. He's also starting to come around, and I kind of like the idea that they put him back to on NXT alongside Cedric Alexander as well.
Yes,
I really do want to see them as a tag team still, because I really thought there could have been something you could have done with them.
Right,
but we'll have to see how that goes. Because, but no, like I said, I just felt like I don't know what it was, but I felt like she didn't really fit in there.
Right. Now, we are a week away from SummerSlam, with that being next Saturday. Do we start to see any surprises tonight leading into SummerSlam, or do we leave it all on the table for SummerSlam and then potentially Bash in Berlin?
I completely lagged out and your words came really jumbled to me. I apologize. I'm going to have to repeat that.
Do we see any major surprises tonight or next Friday leading into SummerSlam? Or do we lay all the cards on the table at SummerSlam?
That's really where I thought we were going with the Bloodline entering the changing out their tag team partners with the Gauntlet match tonight, because I'm like, okay, Tonga's not there. Tonga can't do it. I don't see Jacob Fatu because Jacob Fatu was not in that promo. It was Nick Aldis, Solo, and Tama and Tongaloa. So I'm like, is Hikuleo going to show up tonight?
Right.
That's what I thought.
Well, I'm wondering is, do we maybe get, and I'm going to go to the tag team gauntlet match, do we maybe get that surprise debut of the rumored signing of the Motor City Machine Guns?
And that's where I was going to go next, because Nick Aldis said, if you can't find a partner, I'm taking you guys out. But then Solo was like, oh, we have a partner. It's Jacob Fatu.
Okay.
A lot of wheels in motion as far as the tag team division goes right now over on SmackDown.
Yes. Now, I really do not see Roman returning tonight. I see that one being saved for SummerSlam, but do we see Jimmy return tonight?
It's possible. But again, I also see him for SummerSlam.
Okay.
I could see him, like I can see like a build to Roman's returning. Like we start with maybe we start with Jimmy returning, and then maybe we see Jay from over on Raw come and get involved, or Sami Zayn or something like that. Even though I know Sammy's got a lot with his Intercontinental title right now, and I mean he's got a lot, because I read some future plans on the IC title that I don't want to get into right now because nothing's been set in stone as far as that goes.
Right.
So yeah, I kind of would build towards Roman returning. Like we have Jimmy come in, maybe Jay comes out, because as it stands right now, there's really nothing for Jay, even at SummerSlam, which is really weird. You know.
Yeah. And that kind of leads me to something, and I'm really hoping that maybe we do see it starting maybe at Bash in Berlin. Maybe we see that respect match, and that match of, okay, who is the Oos on Raw? Do we see Jay maybe ask Sammy for an Intercontinental title match?
I would be all for that. But I guess we've got Tiffany's custom Money in the Bank. She went to the red green school of repairing things.
Yes. And I'm finding it interesting that we are starting to see these, I guess, groups and factions far more involved on each show, as we are seeing.
Wow, I didn't think this match was going to be now. It's the Gauntlet match.
It is. I just heard Alicia Taylor announce it. Because we're getting Michin coming up later, and then we are getting the Good Brothers.
Oh, okay. So I saw red flashing across the arena, and I thought the Bloodline was starting the thing.
Yeah, I'm getting the red flashing across the arena now, but
I spoiled it for you. It's not the Bloodline.
It's not. But you didn't tell me who it was.
No.
I'm digging it though. Like,
so here's something on the network, right? They've been replaying NXT TakeOver London, and I'm like, why? What's the relevancy here? One of the relevant things that happened on that show was Apollo Crews and Baron Corbin had a match on that show. So I'm like, okay, well, there's that. The other relevant thing on there was Bayley defended her NXT Women's title against Nia Jax on that show. Because usually over on the network, for people who don't really watch the network, what they'll do is they'll show like a classic pay-per-view that's usually relevant to whatever's going on for current storylines. So, I mean,
right.
like they'll show they'll show classic like SummerSlams, and those aren't really relevant. That's just because SummerSlam's around the corner, you know.
And I'm gonna say this because we've heard the reports now that over the last few days, Nick Khan and Paul Levesque have been over in London.
Yeah, there's pictures of them hanging out with some high profile people over there.
Yes.
Oh, they're starting off with the Legado del Fantasma. There's a part of me already that as I'm looking at this that wants to see Baron and Apollo advance.
Yep.
I like Berto and Angel Garza.
Yep.
But I'm also kind of turning a corner on Baron these days.
See, I've been a huge Baron Corbin fan since he debuted.
My fandom
but it was the countless,
yeah, I know where you're going with
gimmick
this.
changes,
yeah,
and not really knowing what to do with them. Okay, and then he went he went over to NXT again and rediscovered himself, recreated, redefined who and what he is.
Yeah, see, that's and it's carrying very well right now in this match as we're seeing. But my fandom with Baron, it started off like the Lone Wolf, loved it, loved the tag team he had with Corey Graves as well, if anybody even remembers that. But when he came to the main roster, it started to go up and down, up and down. I'm like, I don't know now, you know. But then he turned into Sad Corbin, and I actually really started liking the Sad Corbin gimmick.
Right, and then Happy Corbin, and then...
Mm-hmm.
I even think Corbin with JBL could have been something really special.
Sorry, say that again? I didn't like... I was trying to talk to my roommate, so...
With Corbin with JBL could have been something really special had they done it right, as opposed to put him on this massive losing streak. And
I agree, but at the same time, the chemistry was just really weird for me at the same time. I think when he was doing the Happy Corbin gimmick and he was flashing all that money, then yeah, the JBL thing could have really worked out too. Because can you imagine if JBL came in and was like, I'll be your financial investor or whatever, you know?
Yep.
Or your financial advisor.
Yep.
Because that would have played right into JBL's, his gimmick and his real life. And they're advertising the SmackDown coming to Edmonton and the Raw heading to Calgary. That's just a couple of weeks away, isn't it? Or, well, not a couple of weeks, but like a month and a half away.
Yep. Now, as we are going to get a Cody Rhodes interview later on tonight, did you happen to see the gear he was gifted over in Japan on this tour that he wore to the ring?
I caught a glimpse of it because they showed images of him, but it didn't register in my brain what it was.
Dusty's red robe and hat.
Okay, so we're talking like WWF Cody or Dusty Rhodes.
Yeah.
I hate you saying that one, by the way, when I try to talk 70s WWE.
www.federation.
Yeah. Good on you, Gargano. They showed a quick shot of Gargano, and he had the tag team belts around his waist.
Yep. I'm getting that now.
There's even been, like, since this whole partnership with Apollo, there's even been a bit of a pep in his step for Apollo Crews as well.
Yes. Yes, there has. And it's nice to see Apollo finally really getting some TV time. Even though he has been...
He's been on Main Event, but I mean, like...
Yeah.
Not a lot of people watch that show.
Right. Real TV time. Although it has been more as an enhancement talent. But I would, like you, I would like to see these two advance in the tournament. Now, who do we think the next team is to come out?
Well, if I'm going with Corbin and Apollo to advance over Berto and Angel, I kind of want to see Pretty Deadly come out.
Okay. See, and I'm thinking, I like where you're coming from with that, but I am going to go with another heel team, and I'm going to take Gallows and Anderson.
Oh, and just got the finish, or the finish for this portion. Elimination. There, that's the word I was looking for. Oh. Team that wasn't even on our radar making their way out.
Wow, yeah, definitely wasn't.
So I kind of like there was a bit of a babyface dynamic that we just kind of saw there, because usually if we saw like a heel coming to the ring, where they run to the ring and start fighting right away, or even if a heel was standing in the ring and babyface. But this time we saw another babyface team, and they just went to their corner and then started the match.
Yep. And I think given the recent issues... See, now I'm going with the Bloodline as the next team to come out, given their recent issues with the Street Profits, who have had KO's back and Randy's back. But I'm still, they've also had this mini feud again with Pretty Deadly. And again, you could go with Gallows and Anderson as that heel team to come out next.
The one thing I'm liking about this Gauntlet match is right now it is showcasing the list of contenders for Gargano and Ciampa to potentially take on somewhere down the line, or even whomever takes the tag titles from them next.
Absolutely.
Basically, it's showcasing the depth of the SmackDown tag team division. So as I'm seeing upcoming Raw heading to Baltimore, Maryland, I'm reminded for a programming note for those of you in the US, the next two SmackDowns or next two Raws and NXTs will be on Sci-Fi because of the Olympics, which I did watch a little bit of today.
Yes, having been at work, I wasn't able to watch anything. I did make mention of that as well while you were AFK. And let's not forget, we are just a couple of months away. Well, literally just over a month away from SmackDown moving to the USA Network in the States for our fans.
Which that just reminds me that I've got to set aside some money for my Netflix subscription.
Right?
Want to have your arteries shaking? Eat this bacon pizza from Little Caesars.
Right.
It looks good, though. I'm not going to lie. As a bacon
does.
aficionado, I kind of want to try it. Oh, preview for the Borderlands movie.
Ooh. Again, as not one that's not a fan of the Borderlands series.
Oh, cool. Claptrap actually is in it. One of the robot characters from the game.
I'm aware of who Claptrap is, but
Yeah. Jamie Lee Curtis is in this?
yep.
Okay, I got to check it out because I like her acting. Actually, her acting style and who she is personally, she would be a fit for a Borderlands because if you've actually sat down and like played the Borderlands games, I know you said you're not a fan of it, but I assume you've tried it.
I have.
There's a lot of like sassy type characters in there, and Jamie Lee Curtis is kind of that sassy type person, you know?
Right.
So it totally fits her. Seeing what I'm guessing is a promotion for Sami Zayn's show in Cleveland.
Yep. You know, another guy that I'm surprised we haven't seen return to NXT but has yet to make his SmackDown debut from the draft is Giovanni Vinci. And where could we see him fit in on SmackDown?
If LA Knight's taking the U.S. title, which I presume he will be at SummerSlam, put him in the hunt for the U.S. title.
Okay.
Because I don't see him going after like Cody and Solo for the WWE title.
No.
Just yet. I mean, it's a possibility.
Yeah. And again, we have a fantastic tag team contest going on here.
Yeah, very athletic between these four men.
And that is now twice in 2 matches that we have seen the teams get the hot tag at the same time.
Something tells me we're building towards the elimination here pretty soon.
Yeah.
Okay, that was pretty cool.
I'm going to pose this. Now that Lashley is reportedly done, could you see a fit with Apollo Crews teaming with the Street Profits as a faction if the partnership with Baron Corbin doesn't work?
I kind of like him with Corbin right now, but we just
So do
got
I.
an elimination.
Yes, we did.
Yeah, Corbin and Apollo are out, and here are done, and here comes Pretty Deadly now.
Oh, okay. So you were spot on.
And look, Pretty Deadly did exactly what I said heels would normally do. They ran in and made the attack.
Right? All right. If neither of us are going to do it, I'll do it. Yes, boy.
All right.
Montez really looking beleaguered as he took that tag.
Yeah.
And then we got the shots of DIY in the back again.
Oh, Damian Priest has a live thing happening on the Friday before SummerSlam.
He does.
Huh. I wonder what that's going to be about.
I do not know.
But out of these two teams, I kind of want Pretty Deadly to advance, to be honest with you.
I would love to see it.
I'm ready for fresh blood in that upper echelon of the tag team main event, you know?
I'm with you there. I would love to see it. I do not think we're going to see it in this situation. I think you now need to push the Street Profits to the final of this gauntlet match to serve as cannon fodder for the bloodline.
That makes sense too, actually. Yeah.
And I will honestly say that right now I am really surprised that the bloodline have sort of waited. And I realize that it's smart for them to bide their time and wait until their time is called.
Mm-hmm.
But I'm surprised we haven't seen them come in and try to just run amok, cause chaos in this match, and let these two teams eliminate each other.
Oh,
Or
chaos! Chaos will still be had. Because don't forget, after this, we still have Gallows and Anderson to make their way out.
Yes, we do. So I am wondering then, since we do have Bayley and Michin versus Nia and Tiff later, if that is going to be our main event of the evening.
I have to presume so, because I don't think they're going to show a pre-taped interview with Cody as the main event.
No. And especially because you've got the WWE Women's Championship and the Money in the Bank briefcase holder.
Oh, so Bianca and Jade will get a women's tag title rematch.
At SummerSlam?
It doesn't say. It just says they will get a rematch.
Oh, okay.
Could be on next week's SmackDown. I mean, next week's SmackDown is to go home, so.
Right? From Cleveland. This is not a Royal Rumble, Pretty Deadly.
Sorry, roommate had to talk. I had to talk to the roommate about something right quick.
No worries. We got Gallows and Anderson coming out.
Oh, the elimination did happen. I didn't see that.
Yes.
So the order of the way things for this gauntlet match are going the way I thought they would go. So that does mean Bloodline is taking the win, I think, on this one.
Yeah.
It would surprise me though if Triple H was like, "Yeah, we're going to swerve the audience and put the win on the Street Profits."
Right. And that could happen.
Mm-hmm. You're right, because there have been times where I've been like, "Oh, this guy's going to win," or you as well have said that, and then suddenly something else happens out of nowhere.
Right. And I'm wondering if we see that due to interference by Jimmy. Do we get that return, that surprise tonight? I know you think we're going to see it at SummerSlam.
It's quite possible, but I'm also trying to think who else are DIY aligned with. I know that they have a semi-alliance with Cody. Kevin KO's out of the picture right now because he got taken out last week. I don't know if Orton is out of the picture because he got taken out 2 weeks ago.
Right. But I am going to go back to some old school Ring of Honor days.
That reminds me, I got to talk to Carl about the Ring of Honor show he watched today and see where I can find it.
Well, because Death Before Dishonor is going on right now.
Yeah.
But there is two guys that were solo superstars that were, had a bit of a rivalry and have history with Tommaso Ciampa from Ring of Honor, that being Alex Shelley and Chris Sabin.
I actually do remember Ciampa and one of his partners at the time, I can't remember who it was, fighting Sabin and Shelley on a couple of shows. And I'm talking about when I used to watch ROH on repeat, because they used to do it live like on Thursdays or something on the channel in the States, but we'd get it on repeats on like Sundays or we'd get it randomly on the Fight Network,
Yep.
And I say randomly because I don't know what the actual airtime was. I would just tune into the Fight Network and be like, "Oh, there's ROH."
Right.
going on. They're graying out the teams who have been eliminated. I like that.
Okay, yeah, I can see that just above my monitor here. So
it's like an up-to-date reminder of who's been eliminated. It'd be like I think that'd be kind of cool if they showed a battle royal, like a 10-person battle royal, we'll say, and they
Right.
grade out like one of the participants who have been eliminated, you know?
imagine that for the Royal Rumble.
That'd be too insane. That'd be too insane because most of the time they don't even announce the full 30 participants for each for each Rumble match. Which I'm actually okay with now. I used to think
Right.
that was cool that they used to announce all 30 people before the
Yeah.
Rumble match, but I kind of like the element of surprise now.
But now, yeah, as we get these surprises, whether it's one or two per Rumble or, we get, 10 surprises.
Mm-hmm.
Now that's, obviously exaggerated. But, you get your 10 Raw superstars, your 10 SmackDown superstars. Because you don't announce who from NXT is coming in.
Or from TNA.
Right?
I still say, like, I know we've been seeing him a lot, but I do think Joe Hendry makes his appearance at the Royal Rumble still.
I'm with you.
I'm so looking forward to Joe Hendry on NXT for the concert this Tuesday. I know it's going to be hilarious, and I know it's going to be fun.
Yep. And I did watch Impact last night at 11 p.m.
I saw something about Hendry taking out the system with Matt Hardy.
He came out because it was Matt Hardy teaming with
ABC. Yeah.
Yep. And then Moose came down, and Matt Hardy had said prior that they had somebody that they believed in to watch their back.
Yeah.
So as Moose came down, out came Joe Hendry.
Which is kind of weird because if I'm Joe Hendry, I'm going after oh my god, why can't I think of his name? He took him out of the 6-man match.
Josh Alexander.
Thank you. I'm going after Alexander because I'd be pissed if I got eliminated in that 6-man match, and I'd be pissed if Josh Alexander eliminated me. Right. I want to get my revenge on him.
But next week we have for the TNA World Heavyweight Championship, we get the most wanted man Nick Nemeth defending against the former X Division champion Mustafa Ali.
That's going to be a great match.
Yes, it is.
But just as we're seeing right now, I mean, these again with that dive, man, he almost every time. I don't know if it's the commentators table being too close, but I'm noticing that everybody who does that top rope dive, like we just saw there, they all almost smack their chin off the table.
Right?
And speaking of guys who have pep in their step since coming back from NXT, I mean, Gallows and Anderson are really showing me a thing or two right now.
Right.
And reminding me just how much I like them as a team.
Well, I mean, they've been doing both for a while, so it's not even coming back because they've been doing both. And I'm okay with it, with them being down there to help groom, help coach the up-and-comers on NXT.
And, well, Gallows and Anderson are, you're going to see it. Yeah, they're done. And here come the Bloodline. And it's everyone in the Bloodline making their way out.
Yep. but I like that it's Jacob Fatu's music and it's not solos for this one.
I've been saying this for a while now, but it'd be nice if they had their a theme for the bloodline.
Right?
I know that they've been using Romans when Roman was around, and I know that they use solos. But it'd be nice if they had their own theme, and then like Solo comes out to his own song, Jacob comes out to his own song,
Right?
Tonga Loa and Tama Tonga, because I assume that they're going to be a tag team as well. If they came out to a tag team theme for them, you know.
Yep.
It'd be just like to a certain degree DX. I mean, they all came out to the DX theme. Triple H used that theme when he was on his own, but X-Pac had his own theme, and as did the New Age Outlaws.
Yep. Yep. I'll even go back and, you know, if you want to go NWO, yes, they all primarily used their own theme or used the NWO theme even for individuals, but you did eventually get to that point where Hogan had his own, and they all had their little takes and variations in the NWO theme.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, because Hogan had his own, Nash and Hall had their own for a time, because they started using the Wolfpack song before the Wolfpack even was formed. Even Six had his own theme when he was there. And then everybody else just had the B and the NWOB theme that repeated about 20, 30 times a night on Nitro. Oh, Buff Bagwell and Scott Steiner also had their own too.
Yes. Yes. And if you will excuse me for just a moment.
Locker room visit?
Mr. Best, I have the tired today.
You have the tired?
I have the tired. Carl, the ring came off of Carl's Dr. Pepper can.
I know, I just sent a broken heart emoji to that.
Interesting. This would be for Parrish because just mere hours after the Dolphins made Tua the highest paid quarterback in the NFL, the Green Bay Packers just upped that on Jordan Love.
Jesus. Well, I remember because I'm not too big on football talk, but I will talk football with you guys with what I know, right? But I do remember Parrish saying some months ago that there was going to be a lot of quarterback movement in the offseason. And this is going to be my first time I'm going to try to watch a full season of NFL this year.
Yep.
I don't even know what team I'm going to try to root for, to be honest with you. I'm just going to see what happens, you know?
Just go teal. No, Jordan Love and the Packers have agreed to a 4-year, $220 million contract, making him the highest paid quarterback in NFL history. A record $75 million signing bonus plus $155 million in new full guarantees. Whereas earlier today, the Dolphins signed Tua to a 4-year, 167.1 guaranteed in the largest 4-year deal in history. So we've got 2 4-year deals that were the largest in history, both signed today.
Yeah. So I got a little bit of a clarity on what's going on with the Brett Favre situation right now, actually. So what had happened was he forked out some money to build a volleyball arena for his daughter's team.
Okay.
The FBI is now investigating him because they think that he illegally accepted that money. Because the money came from a business partner of his who's under heavy investigation right now from them too.
Ah, okay.
I gotta say, this is the first time I believe this is the first time I'm seeing Jacob Fatu selling for a lot of the stuff going on right now.
Oh, I just got a spine buster from Montez Ford on Tamatonga.
Yeah, you're going to see Jacob Fatu take a kick to the head in just a few seconds. Oh, gee, I thought that was it. It's interesting, though, that we're seeing the bloodline in the middle of the show.
Right?
Usually we see them in a main event type situation.
Or opening the show.
Mm-hmm.
And, I mean, I don't know if that opening segment with Nick Aldis was what actually opened the show before LA Knight and Santos.
To a degree, it did. We had a cold open that reminded us of what happened last week, which, well, we've been getting that a lot lately, which is actually nice that we see that because my memory is not exactly the best, so I tend to forget a lot of things that happen on each show.
Right.
I love the intensity that all of these teams had in this gauntlet match had brought, because it showcases just how important going after these tag team titles are.
Yes.
And somebody on YouTube, I can't even remember who it was I was watching this afternoon, they pointed out just how much the WWE has changed within the last 5 years, from Vince running it and titles not even feeling all that important to Hunter running it and every championship is now important.
Right?
Oh, God. And there's the finish.
Yep.
That just amazes me because, like, Jacob Fatu, he's shrunk down quite a bit, but he's still a big dude.
Yeah.
Seeing him hit like a best moonsault ever, that's insane.
Right?
Or his variation of the best moonsault ever, I should say.
I'm always so impressed every time I see Montez do that, the dive and flip over the top, over the LED post.
Yeah, because that LED post adds, even though it's only like a couple of extra inches, that couple of extra inches actually makes you rethink how far you've got to jump as opposed to jumping over a regular ring post. And every time I see something like that, or I think of that, I think of something that I saw Chris Thorne doing. The very first show I ever did a show with him involved on. We were at ringside and we were going over. I was going over how to shoot a certain spot. I was trying to figure out how to creatively shoot the coast to coast. I was working as a cameraman for this show.
Right.
And I seen Chris Thorne out there giving tips because like Chris Thorne always does that,
Yep.
Out there giving tips to some of the younger guys. And I'll never forget him saying that, like, despite how small this ring is, every time you go to do the coast to coast in different sized rings, you've got to change the way you spring off that rope.
Right. So I was wondering, and I guess we're not going to get it. I was sort of wondering if we were going to get the Bloodline speaking after that tag team gauntlet win, but doesn't appear as though we are.
Now I got to assume that, as you had said, the tag title match for that is going to happen maybe at SummerSlam. Maybe it happens the night before on next week's SmackDown. Do you see the Bloodline winning the tag team championships?
I am going to say not yet.
I'm going to agree with you because it feels like Gargano and Ciampa just won those tag titles. And it feels like right now we just got Tama Tonga, Tonga Loa, and Jacob Fatu on our roster. So
yeah,
gotta let them simmer a little bit before you put the titles on them.
I'm gonna go with not yet. I mean, obviously we could be swerved.
And you're not talking Strickland.
No, I'm going to say not yet because I think it's going to add. I think you're either going to see them lose the match by DQ to try because they go too far with chairs, whatever, against DIY. Or again, that's where we may get some of these surprise returns, whether it be Jimmy Uso, Roman, potentially Zilla.
Mm-hmm. Man, there's a lot of Islanders coming to the WWE, eh?
There is.
Speaking of Island Boys, I saw an NFL report on an Island Boy. And I meant to read it, but I never got around to it. Oh, it was for your team, the Dolphins. Tua, I'm not even going to bother pronouncing his last name, agrees to a $212.4 million contract extension.
That was Tua.
Yeah, I said Tua. I said it's Tua, and I'm not even going to bother pronouncing his last name because
Tunga Vailoa. I don't know why. There's no N in there, so I don't know why they pronounce the N. But Here's the picture I told you about from earlier in Japan. I'll flash it up here on the screen.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, I know the outfit. So I'm wondering, this is something that every wrestler does when they go to Japan. I wonder how many of the ones that don't have one yet got a Ribera Steakhouse jacket.
Right?
Oh, Theory and oh my god, I'm drawing a blank on his name. A-Town Down Under's in the ring right now.
Grayson Waller.
By the way, I kind of like that they're promoting Crawford's next fight, and it's the same night as SummerSlam. And more controversy leading to the possible split of A-Town Down Under on this one.
Yep. I think we're going to get that at SummerSlam.
Oh, we got this Cody Rhodes segment right now.
Yes, we do.
Interesting. So next week on SmackDown, we're getting a face-to-face with Cody and Solo
Yes, we are.
to see, and these are Cody's words, to see if Solo is ready for Cody. But up next, you called this one, OMD. Bayley and Michin main eventing against Nia and Tiffany. I really think it should have been. I thought it should have been the
Gauntlet.
Yeah, but it is what it is.
I'm with you, but this does make sense because you've got the number one contender, the Money in the Bank, and the women's champion,
and a woman who's possibly going to be a future contender for the title, because there's now rumors that they are going to be looking to push Michin into that higher spot.
Good.
Meaning, like, let's say Nia does win the title, Michin could very well be the first contender for that championship should Bayley fail and try to regain it in a rematch somewhere down the road. Oh, damn it, Timmy's. Why do you have to tease me? I was talking to my sister earlier about Tim Hortons too.
Well, it's funny because right after we finished that 100-piece truck, the boss sent me to McDonald's for breakfast for the staff.
Hey, hey, I will not turn down a McDonald's breakfast either.
And then later in the afternoon, we went to KFC for lunch. And I grabbed coffee from Timmy's. And that's, 2 large coffees between McDonald's and Timmy's, plus my travel mug that I bring every morning. And I still have the tired. On top of that, I'm drinking my Pepsi.
That's been my trouble because I'm going to freeze here for. Yeah, that's been my trouble. Just going up in the area of the city where you work. For those who don't know, he works. OMD works in an area that we all affectionately call fast food lane or fast food row in our city.
Yep.
I used to go to school across the street from that area. So every day going to school, and I'm sure this happens to you, I could smell McDonald's fries and be craving it. And then I smelled my school's French fries and I'm craving those. And our school's French fries kicked ass.
They did. And then let's not forget where I live in town. I am around the corner from the other fast food row.
Oh, yeah, the new one, Fast Food Row 2.0. I'm calling that one.
Well, I've got that one. And then just further up the street, I've got a whole other fast food row.
Are you talking? You're right by the Wellington Square, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
But then if I go left onto Trunk Road, I can go right by Pino's and I've got Mr. Sub, Tim Hortons, Dairy Queen, KFC,
Harvey's,
A&W in there, Subway in there, Little Caesars in there, Fat Bastard Burrito.
Yeah, you live in an area town that has all of my favorite restaurants essentially in the city. Actually, to be fair, I used to live 5 minutes away from the Station Mall food court too. So getting paid was kind of a problem for me when I lived there because I'd be like, I live 5 minutes away from McDonald's. I can go get a Big Mac right now if I want to.
Right.
Next Friday, Logan Paul's homecoming, as we talked about earlier.
Yep. Oh, and they just announced next week we're getting the tag team titles.
Oh, it is on SmackDown next week?
It is.
And again, they're promoting the fight that's happening on the same day as SummerSlam. I'm having a look at the stadium that they're doing the fight at. It's actually going to be an outdoor fight. That's kind of cool. Andrade and Mello possibly next week as well. Oh, okay. Well, we got the tag team match starting, but
We do.
kind of unofficially at the moment because well, there we go. Bayley's making her way down on my screen now, but Stratton and Nia Jax just jumped Michin as she was trying to come to the ring.
Yep. As soon as you said, "Oh, okay," I knew exactly what was happening.
Yeah. Bayley's got herself a kendo stick with her too. And now it looks like they're playing it off that Michin may or may not be able to compete in the match.
Which is going to set the stage for Naomi.
I didn't even think about her. I was thinking outside the box a little bit. One woman that we've been waiting to show up in WWE. Julia.
I don't think she's going to be coming right to the main roster.
I don't think so either, but if you want a little surprise like that, then you do something like that. She'd be better. She would be better off on NXT because NXT is more the hardcore audience, right?
Right.
And they would know who she is already. And actually, some of them already do because the last time they did feature her on NXT, she did get quite a pop.
Yep. And even
Rossy Ogawa, who was beside her, got a pop.
Even last week on, I believe it was last week or 2 weeks ago on NXT, and Roxanne Perez, when Stephanie Vaquer comes, when Julia comes, what are you going to do?
Mm-hmm. That just furthers my state. What I'm thinking is going to happen when Julia shows up is she goes right after Roxanne. And then we start prepping Roxanne for the main roster.
I would have said, if you really want to do the surprise, if she's healthy enough, you bring in Cora Jade, or if you want to go with another surprise, Gigi Dolan.
Well, from what I understand, Cora Jade's not that far off from a return, so. But right now, we're getting essentially a handicap match because Michin is down and trying to nurse herself back to health at ringside. Yep. Okay, that was actually smart by Bayley. Wait till you see the Irish whip in the corner. Did you see the Irish whip by Tiffany?
Yeah.
And how she used it to her advantage to take out Nia? Yep. Smart move, eh? That's what I'd be doing if I was Bayley. I'd be looking for a way to take out the bigger opponent, which is Nia. Oh, Michin's on the corner now, on the apron on my screen now. Oh. Okay, I see what story they're playing right now. They're doing what I used to do in old school WWE 2K games. Consistently take out the partner while beating up the legal opponent.
Yep.
And I say used to because of the fact that they introduced the if you pin your opponent and your opponent's partner runs in, they only got that one chance to run in before they get tagged into the match.
Right.
And I always use that to my advantage. I used to always hit my my signature. I'd hit my signature first,
right.
Go for the pin, have my opponent, my partner, my opponent's partner run in, try and take me out of the pin, and then hit my finisher and then win the match. To me, if I'm being honest with you, they made tag team matches way too easy because of that. It's our buddy, our pal, Scott Stanford. You're muted, dude, if you were trying to talk to me.
Yes, that it is, my buddy Scott Stanford. He's my best friend.
I'm pretty sure at this point he might be one of the longest tenured employees at WWE.
He is. I actually just saw a video from WrestleMania,
Mm-hmm.
and it was, the longest tenured employees that you're surprised are still there. And he was number 5 on the list.
And I say that because I know, one of the even longer ones just recently got released, that being Tamina.
Yes. She was on that list as well. But speaking of that, there was another legend and Hall of Famer that has not been given a new Legends deal and is no longer under WWE contract.
Who's that?
That being Beth Phoenix.
I get a feeling that she's still going to show up sometime at some point, because I still think this is, and that way I still think that when Adam Copeland Edge's stuff is done with AEW, I get a feeling he comes back to the WWE. Because something tells me that, and it's a vibe that I'm getting anytime I see him in and around an AEW ring. He's beginning to realize that the grass is not always greener on the other side.
I don't even think he went there because for the greener grass. So
he went there for the wrestling schedule, but because I know he wanted more dates when before he left the WWE.
Yeah.
And the WWE just wasn't ready to offer him that.
No. Yes, he wanted more dates. But as well, it was the opportunity for him to work again with Christian, which I was really surprised that, now I will not be surprised when he returns from his leg injury if we see him turn heel and we see Cope and Christian together.
Ooh, MLB tomorrow night. Yankee. Oh, that's tomorrow night. I won't be able to watch those games. Red Sox and Yankees. Anytime the Red Sox and Yankees are on TV, I tend to try to watch it because I know that that's a rivalry game, and I kind of like rivalry baseball, especially when it comes to anybody in the Red Sox and the Yankees, because those games are pretty heated.
Yep.
Speaking of baseball, I was completely embarrassed by the Jays the other night.
Was that yesterday?
Losing 13-0. What the hell was that?
I heard about that because I got home from work and the game was over.
Jays did make a trade today, but not a trade that I would have made. They traded off Jimmy Garcia for a prospect outfielder. And I'm like,
catcher.
Yeah. And a catcher, you said?
Yeah.
Okay, well, I still wouldn't have done that because they need depth in their pitching department. I would have traded off Jimmy Garcia for a better pitcher, or a pitcher who can add depth to their roster. Jimmy Garcia did have depth there, but he just wasn't consistent,
Right. But I mean, it's going to be interesting. You see the Mariners stacking up and Tampa Bay selling off.
Yeah, well, Tampa's squad hasn't looked the greatest. Even though I know they just kicked the Jays' ass, they're still not one of the best teams in the league right now.
No, well, I mean, when you trade your best player to Seattle and then you're probably, I guess, your best pitcher to Baltimore.
See, and I still agree with Parrish, because some months ago when the Shohei Ohtani stuff was going on, I still say the Jays should have sunk all their eggs in that basket and tried to like just friggin' gun for him, you know?
Well, I think they did. It was just a matter of,
Because Otani was showing interest to coming to the Jays.
and I think the money was pretty even between both the Dodgers and the Jays,
And the
but I
Jays, yeah,
think
because
the Dodgers just have that better chance to win. But you give it another 3 years, and the Dodgers are going to be where the Angels are now.
and also too what it also came down to was and I kind of agree with Otani on this one. It wasn't much of a move. He didn't have to upheave everybody in his family to move to
Right.
Toronto because he was coming from Anaheim. I mean, Anaheim and LA is like 2 hours apart.
Well, Anaheim is a suburb of LA.
Yeah. So I kind of see where Otani is coming from on that one by sticking in LA. It'd be like me if I say I played for the Toronto Maple Leafs in the NHL and I didn't want to leave. I knew I was going to get traded, but I didn't want to leave Toronto, and Buffalo came and called upon me.
Right.
That would just mean I could keep my family in Toronto and just go play in Buffalo.
Yep. Do that 90-minute commute both ways twice a day for practice and games. And
Yep. When I've got like 2 or 3 days off between games, I can go and chill with my family, you know?
Yep, exactly.
Oh, Michin got back into the match. I didn't even notice.
Yes, she did.
I thought we were going to end with like some kind of surprise coming out to help Bayley.
Right?
Tiffany, you almost decked Naya on that one. I gotta say, this is some smart tag team wrestling out of Tiffany and Naya.
Absolutely. I'm liking the energy and the pacing in this match.
Mm-hmm. I might have to change my opinion on Tiffany's cash-in because I thought it could happen at SummerSlam. I still think Naya could take the title, but I may even see a tag team title run between these two somewhere down the road.
Yeah, I'm with you.
That was some really good tag team wrestling between them two. I'm flabbergasted at that. That was a good finish. I really liked that finish.
But how quickly, well, okay, we're not going to see it here, but I was going to say, how quickly do we see the idea of something like this happening and then Tiffany trying to do the cash in right in front of Naya?
Well, my thought was because it seems like they're building like a best friend relationship between Tiffany and Naya. My thought was Tiffany cashes in on Naya. Oh, look at that. We are ending off with the bloodline. Wow. He called out Roman in that promo. You're muted, brother.
Yes, he did.
He said, if you've got a problem with what I've been doing, you know where to find me.
Yep, I heard it. I heard it.
Maybe he does show up at SummerSlam now.
Oh, I think that was sort of a foregone conclusion that Roman was coming to SummerSlam.
Now I'm curious as to how he does it, or how this pans out. We got it. PLE Patrol. It's official. It's happening.
All right. Well, I will let you know. It's going to depend on whether I am making a run to Duberville that night or not.
Mm-hmm.
But if I am not, you'd better bet your ass I will be here. With that being said, your overall thoughts on the show?
Kind of a laid back show, but I know that it was just a show designed to get the ball rolling for SummerSlam, or to continue to have the ball rolling. But we were left with things that could happen after SummerSlam now.
Absolutely. See, and I know, like, missing the first 15 minutes or so of the show, I really didn't seem to have missed much. I thought it was, I wouldn't say it was laid back. I found it to be well paced, but a very frenetic show.
Mm-hmm. Very tag team heavy, as I pointed out. Like the last hour and a half was tag team stuff.
Yep.
We only had the one singles match tonight, and that was LA Knight and Santos.
Yep. But again, very well put together. I mean, they gave the Gauntlet some time rather than trying to run it in 15 minutes.
Which I'm very glad that they do that nowadays, that Hunter does that with a Gauntlet match, because I know, like, all this week I've been preparing. I'm like, okay, Gauntlet match coming. Be prepared for about 45 minutes of wrestling at least. Right. And that's about what we got out of that match.
Yep. But, I mean, I won't say more questions than answers. I'd say we're starting to really get...
The path to SummerSlam is clear at this point.
Yeah.
But the path after SummerSlam is what's interesting now.
It's sort of just when you think you have all the answers, and we seem to have all the answers for the next week. But that's the questions after that have changed.
That's the other thing I was really enjoying too, is they were setting up a lot of things for next week's SmackDown. And I kind of would like to see more of that. Even if we're not heading into a go-home show, I wouldn't mind seeing, like, say, for instance, we saw Carmelo Hayes and Andrade challenge each other for a match next week. I wouldn't mind if we saw more of things like that.
Right.
You know?
The intrigue on Logan Paul's homecoming next Friday, and then the match on SummerSlam.
And then we've got the face-to-face between Cody and Solo next week. Also, I wanted to say with the Santos Escobar LA Knight match, that match kind of felt like I'm going to go out on a limb here and say that Santos is going to be the first challenger for LA Knight after if LA does win the US title from Logan Paul. I got main event rolling on my screen, and Brinley Reese is making her way out, and it's kind of weird because I've only seen her on NXT Level Up.
Who is it? Brinley Reese?
Yeah.
Well, she's been on NXT for a little while now with Idris Inoue and Malik Blade.
Yeah, but how often has she really been on NXT? Like, it's been like she shows up on NXT and then, like, we don't see her for like another 3 weeks. That's what I'm noticing.
Oh, see, I've been seeing her a lot more consistently. Yes, she's had,
She,
the odd match, but she
yeah.
has been consistently involved backstage with them.
This is the match that Bobby Stats was talking to me about, because he said JC Jane had a match too on main event.
Oh.
But overall, OMD, what was your take on the show tonight?
I loved it. Like I said, I thought it was well paced, but still very frenetic. Really opened up a lot of new questions after we get our final answers in a week at SummerSlam. And I'm really, really intrigued to see where things go from here.
Yeah, I mean, this show definitely has me looking forward to SummerSlam weekend as a whole, because we've got SmackDown and SummerSlam. And I'm really looking forward to what Raw has to present for the Raw Go Home show.
Yes.
Which you can catch us on the Raw Patrol Monday nights, 8 p.m. Eastern. And you can catch all these other fine shows that I'm going to showcase to you on our Turnbuckle Studios here. And yeah, those are all the fine shows. OMD, where can the people find you?
People, if you want to find me, you can find me on the Book of Faces at Daniel Harisic on, or HRYCYK, on Snapchat, One Man Dynamic, capitals on O, M, and D, on Twitch at OMD17, and on Discord at OMD6370. Also, you can add in, you can catch me on the Boar's Nest with Bubba Duke on YouTube at Bubba OMD, and on Twitch at the Boar's Nest with Bubba Duke.
Yeah, you just reminded me I should add that banner to here. But yeah, you guys can find me youtube.com at CBRS Entertainment, twitch.tv CBRS_entertainment, threads.net at CBestFilms83, facebook.com Chris.best83, tiktok.com CBRS.entertainment. This was an awesome show. I found myself really enjoying it. Kind of needed it for the day I've had, and I'm going to tell you about that once we get off here. But on that note, what's those famous words that Carl would say before we end the night?
Ladies and gentlemen, the world is a scary place. Take care of each other. From all of us here at Turnbuckle Studios and the Boar's Nest, to those of you out there, wherever you are, good night, good luck, we out.
I'll be there when you're down, when you're losing your crown, till the afterglow, the afterglow. Fading away, you look so great when you gotta shine. One more part of you is gone now, as you keep smiling at the crowd. Pressure is your best enemy, spotlights show what they wanna see. Sometimes it feels like you're under attack, you just can't break free. I'll be there when you're down, when you're losing your crown, till the afterglow, the afterglow. I'll be there when you fall, when you're losing it all, in the afterglow, in the afterglow. Whoa! again.